It has been proven a number of times that doing past papers is one of the most effective ways to assist you to do well in your studies. For that reason, I'll be here to guide you throughout your business studies journey by doing the past papers with you. In the previous video, we covered the first part of question 4. We did business environment, question number 4.1 to 4.4. If you're interested to see those questions, please go and look at my previous video, which covers the business environment. In today's video, we're going to be focusing on business operation section. So in the business operation section, we have question 4.5 until 4.8, and we'll do all those questions in this video. 4.5 states any four experts that should be included in an employment contract. In questions like this, you need to understand the role players in the employment contract. And the reason you need to understand the role players, it will assist you to answer the question very quick. Because if you know the first role player, it's the employer. First thing that you'll be expecting, it's the name of the employer. Second thing is the address of the employer. Now you've covered two. Now the second role player, it's you, the candidate. So what are you expecting to see? Your identifier. What are those identifiers? Your name and surname, your ID number, your physical address. Now you've covered 5. But because I'm here to guide you to know more than what you've asked, because this is a preparation, we don't know how many they're going to ask if you were to be asked in your own exam. Maybe they're going to ask you 6, which is why we're going to go beyond the 5 that we've listed. Now you have a contract. What are you expecting to see? You want to see your salary. You want to know whether it's a permanent contract or not. You want to know the probation period. You want to know when you're going to start. You want to know your leave days. All different kind of leave days that are available to you. So do you understand how easy it is to do past papers with me? Because I'm going to guide you the perfect way to remember or recall things as easy as possible without even panicking. So now what I want us to do, I want us to then go look at the marking guide and see what we have there. On the screen, we now have the marking guide. These are the things that you should expect to be included in your employment contract. And the personal details of the employee, which is your name and surname or your ID number, details of the business, employer, such as the name and address, the job title or position, what are you employed for? Job description, such as the duties, responsibility, and working condition. Job specification, such as formal qualification and willingness to travel. Dates of employment and commencement of employment. Place where employee will spend most of his or her working hours. Hours of work, such as normal time and overtime. Remuneration, such as weekly or monthly pay. Benefit, fringe benefits, PACs, allowances. Leave such as sick leave, maternity leave, annual leave, adoption leave. Employee deductions such as compulsory and non-compulsory. Period of employment or contracts. Probation period. Signature of both employer and employee. So these are kind of things that you should expect to see in an employment contract. As a minimum, you are expecting at least 80% of what is listed here. However, you were only asked 4. This was the easiest question ever because you ask yourself 2 things. Who are the role players? Then what are the role players' expectations? What if you're the biggest role player as an employee, but we still want to know who's the employer, the address of the employer, the name of the employer. And then you as the biggest role player, what will be the expectation that you expect to see in your employment contract? Because you're going to have your own expectation, and your expectation is anything that has to do with money, the period of employment, when you're going to start, the probation period, and the contract to be valid has to be signed by both parties, which is why you see at the end that both parties must have signed the contract. That takes us to the end of 4.5 question. Then we're going to move to the next question. The next question is 4.6. 4.6 says, read the scenario below and answer the question that follows. Pemba Construction compiled a job analysis for the vacant position of a project manager. MC indicated that applicants must have a diploma in construction. The successful candidate will compile progress reports on assigned projects. Then we have questions. Identify two components of job analysis used by MC. Motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario above. And then you are asked that we should use the table below as a guide. So that means you're going to have component of a job analysis and motivation. We are asked for two. And the scenario above is a guidance. You're not expected to go and state things that are not necessary. Whatever that you state, it should be guided from the top. And it should be limited to two. Do not do anything that is above two, because you do not have such time in the exam. You have limited time, and you must use that time on things that were asked to ensure you still finish the paper. So what do we see? We see the information about the job specification, right? So what is the job specification? It's what this project manager will be doing. The project manager will be compiling the progress report. That's, the job description. The job description is what the person will be doing. And then we also see what? The job specification. What is a job specification? It's what is required for you to even apply for that job. And they've said you must hold a diploma in construction. You see sometimes people saying, I couldn't apply for that job because it required a diploma or a degree which I didn't have. So what that person says, I did not meet the minimum specification of the job advert. If you're talking about specification, it's generally what is in the advert. And if you're talking about description, is what that person that will be employed will be expected to do. And when you're answering here, you're going to put job specification, job description, and motivate. Where did you see in the scenario information about job spec and job description? Now let us look at the solution, or let us look at the marking guide and see what we have in the marking guide. In the marking guide, we have job specification, as I've already stated. And then what is it saying? MC indicated that applicants must have a diploma in construction. It's a spec. That's what you should have in order to apply for the job. Then, number 2, job description. A successful candidate will compile a progress report on assigned project. That's a description of the duties that a successful candidate will be doing. It is important for us to read what is written under. Number 1 said, mark the first 2. So if you wrote more than 2, you'll be wasting time and you will not be awarded mark. Just imagine your number 3 is correct, but your number 1 and 2 were wrong. Now you're going to lose marks because you spend time writing number 3, which will not be marked. In the marking room, they have limited time as well. So they cannot mark things that they shouldn't be marking. It is important for you to read data and understand what is required of you. Number two, award marks for components of job analysis, even if the motivation were incomplete. So if it happens that your this part was correct, your job analysis was correct, even if the motivation is incomplete, you were gonna be awarded marks. Let's say you have specification and description, you will have 4 marks. And maybe what you said on the next part is not correct. You just lose 2 marks. 2 marks. But you will have 4 marks if those two is right. Do not award marks for motivation if the component of the job analysis was incorrectly identified. So what does that mean? This can be correct, but you're not going to get marks if the specification is not there and the description is not there. And then the last part, accept the response in any order. What does that mean? It means you can start with job description or job specification. Why are they saying that? And because in the article, the information started with specification where they said candidate must have a diploma, and then the second part was what the candidate is going to be doing. That is not important, which is why when I was taking you through the scenario as well, I started with description, not spec, because that is not important. But for you in the exam, you can do it. But even if you write in any order, you're still going to be awarded the marks for that. There is a good practice, obviously, that you do it in order form. But if you feel like you want to start with description instead of spec, then it's still fine. You get all your marks provided what you wrote is correct. Let's go back now and see what we have in 4.7. 4.7, explain the role of quality cycle as part of continuous improvement to processes and systems. So now what we are doing here, we need to explain the role of quality cycling as part of continuous improvement, right? So you need to understand when something is continuous, it's not done now and then we end. So we do produce quality products, but we want to do even more, even better. So this is the cycle of quality improvement. So what is the role of quality cycle? To solve problems related to quality and implementation improvement. It might happen that what we're producing as a business is not of a quality standard. We get customers coming back to complain over and over again. So now we need to solve problem and implement improvement. You need to investigate where the problem is coming from and find solutions. Discuss solutions with management, discuss solution with the department that is working on that project to ensure improvement. There should be monitoring, reinforcement strategy to improve the smooth running of business operation. What can be done as well? Maybe the employees are not happy. Improve employees' morale, commitments to the organizational goal, align the wishes of employees with that of the goals of the organization. Develop positive attitude in decision-making process of the services offered. So here, what is important? The most important thing here, or the things that are role players here, it's your employees as well as the product, right? So in order for the product or service that is delivered to be of quality standard, people that are producing either the service or product need to be happy. So the morale of the employees need to align with that of the company. Make the employees happy. Give them leave. Give them bonuses. Could be a number of things that you can do for them. Identify what is wrong about the service or product that you are providing and find ways to improve. Now let's see what we have in the marking guide. Quality cycle as part of continuous improvement. We are looking at the marking guide now. solve problems related to quality and implement improvement. So if there are quality issues that are identified, maybe through surveys, we needed to solve those problems and implement improvement. Investigate problems and suggest solution to management. So the people that are working on the ground, as soon as they're told that their issued service provided or the issued products provided, they need to find ways, they need to suggest the improvement or solution to the management so that the problem can be solved. Ensure that there is no duplication of activities or tasks in the workplace. It is very important to ensure there's no duplication in the workplace because that means we're going to be consuming more money through paying people who are doing duplicate work. And people, if they're doing duplicate work, it might happen the first people who did the work, they did it correctly. And the second ones, they are not doing correctly or they're changing what was correct. So each and every group should have designated tasks that they're doing or responsible for. Make suggestion for improving process and the system in the workplace. Improve the quality of products, services, or products through regular reviews of the quality process. We ask the customers, are you happy with the service that we provided? We issue the surveys. Then when there is a quality issue, we work on the ways to improve. Monitor and reinforce strategies to improve the smooth running of business operation. Increase employees' morale or motivation to boost the team spirit in achieving organizational goal. I've already stated if employees are paid bonuses, they're most likely to be happy. Reduce the cost of redundancy and wasteful efforts in the long run. Increase the demand for products or the service the business offer. Create harmony and high performance in the workplace. Build a healthy workplace relationship between the employer and employee. Improve employees' communication at all levels of the business. Develop a positive attitude or sense of environment. So there's a lot that can be done in the continuous quality improvement process. As long as employees are happy, most likely the service they're going to provide and the product they're going to produce is going to be of good quality standard. Make them happy, and then the clients will be happy, and the organization as a whole, including the shareholders, will be happy. 4.7, explain the role of quality cycling as part of continuous improvement. That's what we've already completed. So you had 2 points, 2 marks per line or per point. However, you needed to, for example, state what can be done and how it can be done, right? So now what should be done, how it should be done, then you get 2 marks. But if you're going to state what should be done and you don't say how it should be done, you're going to get 1 mark. So make sure that your sentence are full like how we saw them. In that way, you're going to get 2 marks per point and then you need a maximum of 3. 4.8, advise businesses on the quality indicators of the general management function. So now, if you had to advise someone about the quality indicators of general management function, what would you advise are kind of things that they should do? Effective strategic planning when it comes to developing, implementing, and monitoring any strategies in the organization. Efficient allocation of the resources. You cannot keep a high talented employee to do an admin work. You need a high talented employee to work on the strategic direction of the company. Allocate the resources effectively. Have standard and norms in the workplace as a control mechanism when it comes to doing things. So there's a lot that you can advise on the quality indicators of the general management function. Let us look and see what we have in the marking guide. So, as I've already said, develop effective strategic plans on development, implementation, and monitoring. That if you have any projects going on in the business, have effective strategic plans in place. Monitor allocation of business resources. You cannot keep computers in the factory. People are working in the factory, they don't need computers, they need machines. So know where to put certain products. Do not put a product that is not going to be used, it's going to be redundant. Now, you are just wasting company resources by buying things and keeping things in a location where they shouldn't be. Learn about and understand changes in the business environment on an ongoing basis. We all know business changes. So you need to be up to date in terms of what is changing in the sector the company is operating on. For example, some business are closing some of their ATM because they believe that people are now trying to move to become cashless. So now if you have 1,000 ATMs as bank, it might not be effective in the long run. Effective communicate shared vision, mission, and values. Company vision must be communicated with every employee in the organization or any division that they believe might contribute to the mission and values of the organization so that their ideas can be used for the better development of the firm. Set a direction and establish priorities of the business. Priorities should be ranked. The business should know what's in the short run what you want to achieve and in the long run what you want to achieve. And prioritize in terms of fulfilling those plans. So the short-term goals we need to all be striving to achieve in the organization. But the long term, yes, we're striving, but we do not have to achieve now. So the main focus should be on the short-term goal. Be proactive in terms of ethics as well as productivity. Be proactive and always seek to improve competitive advantage. There is a very high competition unless you're a monopoly. So you need to find ways how to become better than your competitors. Ensure that all department and business meet their deadlines and target. The organization will have target in terms of revenue they want to achieve and the deadlines in terms of when they want to finish project. So management should ensure those deadlines are met. Let's take us to the end of 4.8, which is the end of our video. Thank you so much for listening to me up until now. Can you please follow me on my YouTube channel? It's Economics 199, Economics 199. Also on TikTok, it's Economics 199. All the best with your exam as well as test. I'll be with you to guide you throughout your journey until you go write your exam. Bye.